Today we are going to be checking out the Beast X Max. I've been meaning to get this video out for a while as I've had it in heavy use and it's become one of my main 3 mice that I use. I got the Y Bronze limited edition. It did end up costing me $170, which is a little steep. It is a magnesium mouse, but yeah, I still think it's a little expensive, but for the quality, if you can afford to get one, it's definitely worth checking out. Right off the bat, the shape is really good for fingertip gripping. I was in limbo about getting one of the medium-sized Beast X, but I do have bigger hands, and I am glad that I waited to get the bigger copy. The shape overall is pretty safe, I'd say. You can get away with clawing it, and you can get away with fingertipping it, as well as if you have a little bit smaller hands or medium-sized hands, you can definitely palm it. That being said, on the shape, the one thing I really do not like is the clicks being over the edge of the shell. This mouse would be perfect, in my opinion, if they just made the click housing exist inside the outer shell. The way I grip, I do end up having my ring finger slightly resting on the edge of the right click as I'm holding the mouse, and it's not the most comfortable for my ring finger. That being said, if you claw it, you're not going to have an issue with that at all. It is kind of just a personal grip thing. The coating on these magnesium mice is actually pretty interesting. I feel like it's weather dependent. When it's super cold, I feel like it is pretty slick and not that grippy. And then the warmer it gets, the more grippy it gets. Or if you're in an area with a high level of humidity, you might enjoy putting grips on your mouse 1 and mouse 2. I had to put grips on the side just because exactly where I grip, it wasn't the most comfortable on the sides with the holes being everywhere. It wasn't super uncomfortable, it just wasn't the most comfortable, and I instantly added a level of comfort as soon as I put the side grips on. The clicks, they have 2 options on the clicks. You can get the Omrons or the Nihils, the Omrons being opticals, the Nihils being mechanicals. I went with the Omrons. The newer version of these Omrons that they're using is actually pretty good compared to the old version of Omrons I was not the biggest fan of. That being said, the clicks on this copy are super crisp. There's no pre-travel, post-travel at all. The side buttons also are super tactile. No pre or post travel on those. And the scroll wheel click is pretty light, as well as the encoder is also pretty light, but very tactile. You can feel each step for sure. I did, however, have the first copy that I received had a major click issue, and I was able to get that replaced. The other issue with this copy that I do have is the base is not very flat, so it is kind of hard for me to run dot skates on it. Most bases coming out nowadays are pretty uneven. It is kind of an issue if I want to run dot skates, and I am a big glass pad user, so running the full skates on a glass pad is not my favorite thing. As you can see, I do have the Kyrson Samurai on my desk right now, and this has become one of my favorite cloth pads very quickly. That being said, it would be nice to be able to use whichever dots that I want if the base was flat. I just can't be bothered going through the whole ordeal. It's already my second copy. The overall quality on this copy is pretty dang good for it being magnesium and with the holes all over the whole entire mouse. I was expecting it to be a little bit closer to like the Final Mouse quality, where they have quite a bit of flex. Mouse 1 and mouse 2 have quite a bit of flex as well. I'm not one of those people that sits here and squeezes the sides of my mouse aggressively. If you do that with this, you will get side flex. That should never really be an issue in game. If you're death gripping your mouse enough to break the base or the sides just purely by gripping it, then that's a you problem. I don't know what to say about that. My opinion overall on the mouse would be, for the size and the weight of it, I really enjoy it, especially with my kind of like relaxed fingertip grip. I do think the price is a little steep, but we are going into the full enthusiast magnesium, super lightweight, like cutting edge type situation. So I understand the price point. Would I continue buying mice that are $170? Probably not. One's good enough.